time we catch up on the 2K news from this past week. So WWE 2K have been putting out a lot of screenshots, a lot of interests, a lot of things for this past week, and we're going to round up and do like a whole little roundup of the things that happened this past week before we go into next week, because I think it's going to be a very, very heavy week next week because we only got 12 days before the early release of this game. So we're going to go and break down all the things that they released, the screenshots and the interest that they showed. We got a lot of things to do that. So if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps out the video. If you guys want to hear my opinion about the new 2K news that's coming out, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. So just recently, IGN 2K posted on their X account that IGN had a first look at the new Jey Uso entrance. This time, Jey Uso is coming through the crowd like he does normally, like everything else. He had a hot year this year, so coming through the crowd was something that the 2K community was asking for, and they finally delivered on there. Now, granted, the audience looked like they're still bowing, obviously, but Jey Uso coming through the crowd is a big improvement, and I think it's a really killer entrance that you should check out. Along with all the other entrances, we also got a new entrance for Tiffany Stratton, and she coming out with the WWE Women's Championship, and the entrance was good. The model looks great. I do think, once again, I'm going to do a whole video of all the women's entrances as well, but that's one of the things that they came out this week. And another entrance that they had also that came out, I believe it was on Friday for Smackdown, was Gunther. Now, Gunther does have the most similar interest that he has had in the previous game, but once again, the model looks incredible. I was taken aback of how good that model looks, and he comes out with the world championship. Obviously, he's the world champion. But those were the interests that we have gotten with this past weekend. Now, going back throughout the week, we did have some other entrances. We did have the Wyatt 6 entrance that they posted on their X account. I did a reaction to the Wyatt 6 entrance. You guys can go check out my reaction as well. But this one, at first I was kind of confused because it was a unique entrance that when they all came out to about the end of the ramp, they all kind of scattered about, and then the entrance just ended. Now, I didn't know if that was going to be an X thing where they couldn't post a long video, but I thought about it. The final boss's entrance was like almost 4 minutes long, and they posted that on X. So obviously, I guess that's a new way, a unique way to make the entrance happen. I was like, I'm not necessarily sure how I feel about it necessarily, but I'm just saying that that's the way they had for the Wyatt 6 as well. And then they also had Maxine Dupree backstage reacting to her entrance and showing off her model and what it's going to look like in WWE 2K25. And I said she has a good looking model in there. Once again, they have really done a great job with the face scanning and with them having, because it looks like they're really in the game. Because once again, they look good last year, but it's something about this year. Could be the lighting, who knows. But right now, it really looks good. And having her react to it, you can take a look at that right here.
Ooh! It's crazy how spot on the hair is. And the gear. Slay. I want to know what person is doing this walk and pose. I want to like meet the extra that did it, the actor that got to do it. Like, that's so cool. Also, my shoulder muscles. Oh my god, the little head nod. Whoever did this slayed the house down boots.
Along with the entrances, we did get some screenshots and some first looks, and one we get Chelsea Green that's supporting her red outfit. At first, I thought this was her red outfit from Money in the Bank. I'm not necessarily sure, as I've heard some people say this is from a Raw show, but they do not have the Women's United States Championship on her, and there was an interview conducted, but I'm going to get into that of more of a detailed thing of why that Women's Championship is not with her, because Brian Williams did state that of the reason why it was not on her in this game. But there's still a great looking shot of Chelsea Green, and she's always been looking good in these games, and I like her model in this one. Looks even better than the one in 2K24. Another screenshot that we have as well is of Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Maybe it's just me, but I really like Scarlett with the black hair, to be honest with you. But this Karrion Kross looks quite into. I like this whole screenshot, and once again, I would like to see what the Final Testament's whole entrance looks like, because once again, they can't really show it off because, you know, AOP got released, and so did Paul Ellering, so they're just going to show the screenshot of Scarlett and Karrion Kross. But however, this is an awesome looking screenshot right here. I'm liking Karrion Kross. I'm liking this look. The look. Once again, the models look good. Scar looks like she just really. I could just go talk to her right now. Then they found every year they do have, as what you know, as the 2K soundtrack. Who's going to be producing the soundtrack this year? So as of right now, there's no artists like there was. Like last year it was Post Malone, the year before that it was Bad Bunny, the year before that it was Machine Gun Kelly. Now this year they released the soundtracks, and it is, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know really anybody on here. I don't. I'm not even gonna hold you guys. I do know that they got Eminem on here, and they do got Jelly Roll on here, but I haven't. They even got the Black Flag Freestyle, but I really don't know any of these songs. And when it comes to the soundtrack, it can be kind of funny. Listen, I know wrestling has always been, for over the years, considered with, you know, rock, heavy metal, those kind of that genre of music. And obviously, you know, I do like some rock music, and then once again I do like hip hop music, I do like R&B music, stuff like that. And honestly, I know that they try to get a mix of a little bit of everything for the games every year, but I do understand where it heavily leans towards. But even still, with this new stuff, I really don't know any much of the artists like that, and there's no way the soundtracks to give you like a quick preview of what that is. And once again, I'm saying, like, you know, when it comes to NBA, in Madden, you know, you're going to just lean more towards hip hop and stuff like that. So I get it, but it's just like right now, I'm not familiar with it. Ain't because it's just rock, because I'm just not familiar with anything on here. Like I said, I recognize Eminem and I recognize Jelly Roll. So, but most of the time in these games, I turn the soundtrack mostly off. This is like a lot of stuff I really want to hear, and just go to the entrance themes. I think that's the way to go for a wrestling game anyway. Now, my homie, JUSTBRYAN, we really not homies. I don't know him. He doesn't know me, but I do like watching his content and stuff when it comes to 2K. So he got an interview with Brian Williams. And first of all, just saying, y'all got some great names. But anyway, so this is what I was talking about earlier in the video, that he did an interview with Brian Williams, and he stated a couple things that we wanted to know. And when it comes to the Women's United States and the Women's Intercontinental Championships, they will not be available at W2K25 at launch, which could be a little bit disappointing for a lot of people. Me personally, I'm just like, I get it. I'm not a game developer, so I know it's kind of hard, especially when it's late in the game that they revealed these titles. And it's like, by next year they're gonna get in there. And Brian Williams did put up a good answer, saying like they could be patched in, but once again, it ain't just patching in the title so they can walk out with the title. You got to sit there and get the graphic. You got to sit there and put it up in there for My GM, Universe Mode, and all these other kind of things that you got to do. Because it's like, if you put the belt in the game, you're going to be wondering, why can I use it in My GM? So you're going to want to use it in My GM. And so these kind of things are something that they're going to have to probably try to patch in later on. I don't know what the patch is going to be like, but it's possible. They have added in championships in the game before post launch when it comes to these games. One of the highlights of that interview that they did was that Brian Williams talked about DLC, right? And he said that they are going very ambitious this year, and there's going to be a lot of surprises when it comes to DLC, and you're going to be kind of shocked about it. There is a hard cutoff. So because when JUSTBRYAN was asking him about the DLC. But he said that they're going to be, you know, some female legends in there, and it's going to be a lot of surprises, that some that you may not even thought they would have made it or been DLC. So they're really going ambitious in there for that. And I do think we're going to get one of DLC teasers this week. So I'm hoping that they've been doing like the years previous, and you got to try to figure out the clues, and then they finally release who was in there. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. So I'm excited for that. And it gets me excited. I know people talk about Penta and mostly machine guns and things like that. I do believe Penta, I really don't know. I would like Penta to be in the game. I really would, but I really don't know if he'll make it or not. I'm going to be completely honest, but I'm thinking, like, if they knew about Penta already coming in, and he signed a while ago, and they can get him ready, and who knows? They're being really ambitious this year. But I really see, since we ain't going to have a pack to waste on Pat McAfee's friends, we're going to have, I think, a really good DLC. I'm really curious. I got a handful of people in mind that need to be in there, and Rocky Johnson. But I'm just saying, but I really want to see what they're going to have in store for us. Another piece of sad news when it comes to 2K25 is that there's not going to be any of the cross-gen community creations anymore. Brian Williams had an interview on the Everything Pro Wrestling show, and then he confirmed that it's now official that 2K25 will not support cross-gen community creations anymore. For the previous gen, PS4, Xbox One, and PC can share their content with each other, but then when it comes to the Xbox Series X and when it comes to PS5, that's the only thing we can do right now when it comes to the community creation. So that is a little bit of a bummer, especially when you can just go around any platform. We can make certain things, especially on PC, and then you can just have it over to your PS5. And another bit of sad news also, this is one of the things that I be talking about all the time, is because this is when I really hope that the next gen can really fix this, is that Brian Williams had another interview on the Pro Wrestling Shoot. They stated that the limit of 100 creative superstars, the limit of creative superstar slots is still at 100, and that it's still 1,000 logos remain. So this is the only issue I have with this, basically, is because it's been like that for years now. And usually they take up a creative superstar slot when you just create another attire for a WWE superstar. And I'm like, it's wasting of a slot. Now, I am not the one that, does a lot of creating. My son is the one who does a ton of creating, right? But it's still, I'm like, those slots are being taken up. And I mostly do, attire updates. But when you download those attires, those take up slots. The next thing you know, you got over 300 people in the game, and you only got 100 slots. So you can't. Some superstars are gonna get multiple attires for, and it's gonna fill up that one slot. So it is a little bit frustrating. I do think that when they go completely to the next gen, which it probably should be next year, it's kind of like 2 years behind, but it should be complete to next year. Then I do think that we gotta up the ante on that. So that was the wrap up for this past week of what they gave out when it came to entrances and screenshots and things like that. And that I haven't mentioned yet. I want to talk about that. Also, come tomorrow, IGN has a first look at My Rise, 19 minutes of My Rise, and I will be reacting to it and posting that up for you guys tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So you got to make sure you hit the subscribe button to get my reaction on My Rise when it comes out. It comes out at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then so I'm going to react to it, and then we're going to that I'm going to post. So I'm excited for that. So make sure you hit the subscribe button for more W2K25 news and more updates, because I think we're going to have a heavy week coming up, and we're only 12 days away. So yeah, we're going to have to buckle down, okay? So make sure you hit the subscribe button for all my opinions and all my news and stuff like that. So once again, this is NC, the place to be. Children, Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.